A water fun park, Rockstar comfy beds, a Mercedes chauffeured pickup service, gourmet ice cream flavours. Sounds like a nice place to stay, right? Well, you can't. It's for dogs.
Well, I said, welcome to a small business marketing show where successful small business owners share their souls to take your marketing straight to the lead. Now, here's your host, Mr. Timbo Reid.
And welcome back, listeners, to another episode of Australia's #1 marketing show. I'm your host, Timbo Reid, but you, so much more importantly, you're a motivated business owner and you are ready to crank out some great marketing to build that baby of yours into the empire it deserves to be. Hey team, big show today. Yeah, when isn't it? Marcus Nichols of Akuna Pet Resorts, who's built a 5-star business for pooches, joins us very shortly. And boy, has he got a story to tell. Listener Dennis from the Great North shares, is that Canada? Yeah, Canada. The Great North shares his marketing approach with us and asks me if he's doing the right thing. He's looking for a bit of validation. And I got a motivational marketing quote from one of my favourite stand-up comedians. Try and guess who that is. No, and it's not Robin Williams. Hey, today's show made possible by the very, very good folk at Net Registry who can get the marketing of your business online sorted once and for all. I suggest you do it. Check them out over at netregistry.com.au/Timbo. And insert drum roll, got a new sponsor just for the next 4 weeks. That's all. Design Crowd. Yeah, welcome them on board. They give you a perfect design, a perfect custom design, by the way, every time. Guaranteed. You can grab a free VIP listener discount over at designcrowd.com/Timbo. Yeah, okay. As per usual, there is marketing GOLD dripping from the ceiling over here at Small Business Big Marketing's HQ. So let's get stuck right in.
Do you need a speaker for your next conference? Recommend Timbo to your event organiser. Or better still, book him. Tim Reid, that's reid.com.au.
Coming up, we're joined by Marcus Nichols, whose canine clients get chauffeured around in Mercedes-Benz. Goodness me. But first, a little check-in. Now, as of the time of recording, 8 seats have been booked for my Create Freedom Through Outsourcing tour to the Philippines next month. Hope you're coming. You can't all come. There's only 10 seats, 2 left. I spoke to a couple of business owners who booked this week. I'm ringing each one as they actually book, which is kind of nice, having a chat to them, finding out about their business. How's this? One of them already gives all his employees permission to spend $100 to outsource any task that will save the business time or money. Hey? They can just go and spend $100 outsourcing something. One of the staff members found someone online to create a database of prospects in a particular industry. Cost them $35. Hey? Now they've got a database to call and get more business. That's how it works. So if you're interested in this outsourcing caper, I suggest you come along. Go over to smallbusinessbigmarketing.com/freedom and you'll find a little bit of video from moi and the link that details the package. Hey, a big thank you to Dr. Jesse Green, who interviewed me this week on his show. He's got a podcast. He's a doc. He's a dentist. He's got a podcast called the Savvy Dentist Podcast. So I love the fact that there's a dentist helping other dentists by creating a podcast. Fantastic. Sharing the knowledge, paying it forward. And I love sharing some insights into the Boomerang Effect, which is my new book, if you didn't know, with Dr. Jesse. So thanks, Doc. Now, speaking of which, the Boomerang Effect sales are flying along. Sold 200 copies yesterday to 2 different conference organisers. I love that. And I'm getting a lot of requests to do an audio version. Now, not just yet. I don't know whether I could stand my voice for 48,000 words. But starting next week, I will read a chapter on the show every now and then. Don't worry, they're short chapters, I promise you. So there you go, bit of a check-in. I hope your business is rocking. I hope you're having fun. I hope your marketing is exceptional. If it's not, let's head over to the Akuna Pet Resort and have a chat to Marcus Nichols to find out what he's doing. So, a luxury pet resort tucked away in the New South Wales Hunter Valley region. Hey? And I mean luxury. As I said earlier, we're talking a water fun park. He's just dropped 150 grand on a water fun park for dogs. Goodness me. Don't know about you, but I love a water slide. Now the dogs are getting them. Comfy beds. They've got Mercedes chauffeured pickup service and gourmet ice cream flavours. Wait till you find out what the flavours are. And I'm going to tell you right now, it's not salted caramel. Now, how I found Marcus and his wife, they're coming to the Philippines on the outsourcing tour. Yeah. It's one of the businesses that's coming along. How good's that? Now, what I love about Marcus and what I know you're going to love about him is he loves what he does. He has a very, very wacky business. He has this amazing willingness to take risks, like building the water fun park for dogs. And I think he's an example of a successful business owner who openly admits he ignored the power of marketing for way too long. Hey? How many of us have done that? So I started off by asking Marcus if he was a dog or a cat kind of guy.
That's a hard question. Both.
You can't sit on the fence. Choose one.
I've been told I have to sit on the fence. If anyone asks me that question, I have to sit on the fence.
Part of the branding. Very interesting.
Part of the branding. Yep.
You can't look to favour it's not a gender. What is it? An animal type.
Yeah, an animal type. That's right.
Just imagine that you weren't asked to sit on the fence, and I'm going like, Marcus, you have to choose, or this interview ends. What would you say?
It's hard. They both have very different things. So it depends on what you're needing in your life. Mm-hmm. Cats are certainly more easy and more manageable in a home environment, in the sense that
they look after themselves.
Yeah, you can own a cat and interact when you want to, and
the cat goes, "Leave me alone, mate."
Yeah.
Yeah. There's a wonderful quote, that Winston Churchill quote. I think it was like, I'm fond of pigs. Dogs look up to us, cats look down on us, but pigs treat us as equals. I think that's kind of true.
It is, absolutely.
I love it. So,
whereas a dog is much more. You have a dog, it's certainly more in the wheelhouse of like having a child.
Yes, tell me about it.
That they're front and centre for everything.
Yeah, I hear you. My wife would describe me like that. You?
No comment.
Is this going to be one of those interviews? Goodness me. Hey, I tell you what, when I saw, Marcus, that you guys were coming on this tour to the Philippines, I went and quickly had a look at what your business was, as I'm doing with everyone who's booking, and Akuna Pet Resort. How good is that? This is a fascinating business. I got to ask, why? Why
do we do it, or how did we end up there? Or
why have you built this amazing business that any human would love to stay at? And you're doing it for animals.
Well, it was one of those sort of things that many years ago I got into pet care. Yeah. So your typical sort of dog walking service and all those sort of things. Mm. And they were quite draining businesses, and had the opportunity to start or go into a boarding kennel. We bought a boarding kennel, and we just saw everything that was wrong about our industry and the quality of care being offered. Mm-hmm. And basically spent the next 16 years trying to fix it.
Wow. So this is when you bought Akuna in, from my understanding, 2000?
Yeah, we did, but it wasn't Akuna. It was known as Abermain Boarding Kennels.
And it was a boarding kennel. And I think I saw a video where you referred to what the industry does as dog stacking, where they put a number of dogs into the one accommodation area, and this is one of the things I'm guessing that got your back up?
Oh, absolutely. Like, we went through our first Christmas here and effectively had, 150 dogs in 50 kennels.
Wow.
And at the end of it, we're like, this is wrong. This is wrong. So then we actually polled our clients and asked, if you had the choice, would you like your dog boarded with another dog or boarded by itself? And 99% of people came back and said we would like it boarded by itself.
Wow. That surprises me.
Yeah, well, it was really interesting because we didn't think it would be quite that high. We thought it would be more 50-50. But it was one of those sort of things that very few people actually said, yeah, I'd really like my dog boarding with another dog. And
just out of interest, because I don't think enough businesses poll their clients, how did you do it? This is 16 years ago. Was it an email, phone call?
No, we actually did it by all of our new clients. We used to, and still do, they fill in client information forms. And one of the questions was, would you like your dog boarded with another dog?
So not only did you get clients to fill in a form, you actually read the form and acted on the information it was telling you. This is extraordinary.
First time for everything.
Okay, so back in 2000, you do this research, you start to see gaps, problems that you're experiencing. You're seeing unhappy pets having to bunk in with two other pets they've never met.
And that was the biggest thing. Like, when you really break that down, is that I break it down into basically three groups. You had the group, which was about 10% of dogs that you couldn't mix with another dog for love or money, right? They would just want to eat them or attack them or do any of that sort of stuff, right? You had 10% of dogs who loved it and really just wanted to play all day and jump and have a great time, you know. And you watch two dogs playing at the park and it's just beautiful, you know. It's just so much fun watching them run away, you know. And
I particularly like watching a whippet.
Yep.
You know, they spring around and they go and have a sniff and have a look at what everyone else is doing and then go for another run. It is quite quite meditative.
Oh, absolutely. There's no question about that. And then you've got about the other 80% of dogs who tolerate it. So what
do they give you that look? Do they give you that when you're walking past, the mouth on the floor, and they just kind of look up at you going, come on, champ?
Yeah, they just sort of they don't mind that other dog there, but really they go, oh, do I have to? You know, like, you know, it's in my face all the time.
At what point did I ask for this, they say?
That's it, you know. So, and it was really interesting. And what we found was that you could do it successfully without injuries if you were really, really careful. But it's statistically one of those things is that a dog's just gets injured. You do it enough, dogs are going to be injured, and dogs will be killed from doing it.
So you've seen these problems, you've done your research, you're starting to implement. At what point did you go, we're actually going to go and create a pet resort? We're not just going to make some micro changes to the way we're boarding dogs, but we're actually going to create a resort, which I would argue many humans would be happy to stay at.
It was always a goal to create an environment that was more suitable to the way dogs live today.
Right.
So most animals live indoors and most have the comforts of what indoors have. 20 years ago, your dog lived in this backyard, you threw it a bone. These days, they sleep on your bed, they watch TV when you're not at home or listen to the radio or do any of those sort of silly things.
Pull up a chair at the dinner table.
Yeah, you know, and none of the kennels... Well, what started happening in our industry was you would get one or two kennels or a few kennels where what they were doing were creating luxury kennels. So they'd create a room that had a single bed, a TV and an air conditioner. But the rest of the kennels... So they might do that for 1% of their kennels, but all the rest of their kennels were still very basic kennels. So what we wanted to do was create something that was a lot more in the vein of a lot more comfortable. Sure, it didn't necessarily have the single beds and the TVs, and we do have those options. There's no question about that. But we wanted the ability of it where it felt much more safer. It was more of an indoor room. It had a grass run off the back, all those sort of things.
Yeah.
It offered a bit more to the dogs. So, yeah.
What's the truth here? And I'll get you to describe some of the services in a minute, but are you creating these things for the owners or for the pets?
Oh, for the owner.
Yeah.
There's no question about that. It's the dog.
The dog
dogs in
doesn't know.
general.
Dog doesn't get ring his mates and go, you're not going to believe this, guys, but my owners, they're going away, and guess where we're going? Guess where I'm going? A cooler.
Yeah. And that's it. It's all for the owners. I mean, the dogs.
Yeah.
Sure, there's certain things that they enjoy more. I mean, having a room that's heated or cooled is great, right? No dog's going to complain about that.
Room service. Massage menu. Hey?
That's right. But really, at the end of the day, it is for the owners.
Right.
It's for the owners to feel like they're actually sort of caring for their loved one. And that's the important thing.
Okay. So you slowly build out this resort that's been your dream, and now just go through the list of services that you offer. And listen, why don't you start at the top? Start at the water park for dogs. Hey.
You like that?
I like that. Yeah.
That's our newest feature.
Right.
Actually, that went in Christmas last year now. So we've had it a year and a bit. And
listeners, this is not. We're not talking a hose. We're not talking a sprinkler on the lawn that the dog can run through. Do you want to describe it?
Okay, so it's basically if you think of your typical water park that you might go to with your kids that has fountains everywhere.
Yep.
And the kids get to run around in water that is about sort of 10 centimetres deep and splash and have fun and all those sort of things.
Yep.
We've got an area that's like that has 6 different sprinklers doing different things. Yeah. And then we have attached to that a swimming pool that is a bit more like a lap pool. It's only about 6 metres long and it's about 1.5 metres deep. So it's deep enough for dogs to swim, but shallow enough for one of our carers to have to jump in if they have to rescue a dog.
Yeah, there you go, listeners. You heard it first. A lap pool for dogs, and not just lap dogs either. Can you wrap some numbers? I like to get a sense of numbers, and what's something like that cost? What kind of investment have you put into that?
100.
Wow, $100,000 water park for dogs.
100. Yep.
How amazing! So, what else do you offer?
Actually, hang on. No, we're doing the numbers on that. Actually, I think about that. Actually, it was the pool. Actually, the pool itself and all of that, plus the fencing. Actually, 150 it was.
Goodness me!
All up. Yeah, because there was 20,000 in rubber, and then there's been another 10,000 on umbrellas and
talk to me about return on that, Marcus. All of a sudden, does that mean do your bookings double? What happens? How do you measure that?
It's very hard to properly really measure it. I mean, we increased the pricing for a swim because we used to offer dam swims, and they were so we sort of basically increased the pricing on that. Basically to work with the cost of to run the pool and all those sort of things. But part of it was to offer a more rounded sort of service as much as anything else. And we redesigned our package that has a daily swim in it amongst a walk and a play. And when we did that, we found that actually just skyrocketed, particularly for the swim. So we substantially, like during summer, sort of over the last Christmas, we had the swim yard being used 12 hours a day from 7 in the morning till 7 at night.
Right. Classic.
Just flat.
Flat out.
And that certainly wasn't. That was never the case before we did that. So gives you the idea of how much it gets used now.
Come on, keep amazing us. Tell us about the chauffeur service, because you guys are in the Hunter Valley, which is a regional part of New South Wales, for those who don't know. And I'm guessing you have a catchment area of much greater than pet owners in the Hunter Valley. So you've got this chauffeur service. How's that work?
So we do door-to-door service out of Sydney in particular, as well as Newcastle and the Hunter. And Central Coast we feed into a little bit as well. We don't do so much out of that, but Sydney's our big market. Sydney's where we pick up around, at the moment, it's close to 70% of our business comes out of Sydney.
Yeah, wow.
And represents a bit over 70% of our income as well. From that sort of angle. And that's because it's a whole raft of reasons that's the choice. But it's on a par, it's part of our pricing model and things like that, because we compete, we compete with the Sydney market, and we are at the very top of the Sydney market. So we're more expensive than most of the Sydney other kennels. Some of the luxury stuff that some kennels will offer in Sydney might be a bit more expensive than us, but across the board, our spend per client is higher than what most other kennels will be in Sydney.
Now,
and that's due to the range of services that we offer.
No doubt. It would be just...
And the door-to-door service was to feed into that market, but we also chose to do it door-to-door, then do it via your vet, which a number of kennels have chosen to do.
But now, just on the door-to-door, you've missed an important point here, and I'll have to read it from your website. Each pet, quote, each pet has its own private travel space within the comfort of an air-conditioned Mercedes van. Finish quote.
Yeah, well, if you're going to do it, you're going to do it in style. Right?
I love it. Do they sit back there and have a smoke and a drink, a drink upon arrival?
We crack the Chardonnay or the Shiraz when they get here. After all, it is the Hunter Valley, right? We're known for our Shirazes, so
Yeah, it's very true.
It's one of the questions that people have to answer: white or red?
Yeah, correct. And well, speaking of high maintenance clients, and I want to talk about your human clients in a minute, but you've also got some high maintenance cat and dog clients. We shouldn't forget the cats. We haven't touched on the cats, but it's for both. You've got these care packages for special need pets. Now, are these pets like, there are some that just want like long stem roses in their kennel and white M&Ms, or is it, what kind of needs are we talking about?
Oh, we haven't mastered into those ones yet, but well, that's a consideration. It's very interesting because we've decided to own the space of special needs.
You sure have.
And a lot of people immediately, when you think special needs, they immediately go to our human understanding of special needs, and they go, okay, so it's someone that has a disability of some shape or form, and that's usually what they define in the special needs wheelhouse. With pets, it's really, really different, because with pets, it could be that they're on heavily detailed. They could have disabilities, obviously, so they could have one leg, well, not one leg, but 3 legs, because they can still get around. They can still get around with 3 legs.
One leg, the one-legged dog. He's called Hop.
That's it, But definitely with 3 legs, they can still get around. But a lot of it is around medication, really detailed medication. Medication's really big for us. But then you also have really specific breed needs. So you'll have the scenarios of, say, a British Bulldog, right? British Bulldogs have...
Loves his BBC documentaries.
Yeah, they do. But besides having a lot of health issues, they also have... their folds of their skin have to be cleaned daily.
Oh, I know the feeling.
During summer, they can't be in the heat because they'll die of heat stroke.
Same.
So, and those things can be defined as special needs. We deal with behavioural problems. So we'll deal with dogs that are fear aggressive and have separation anxieties and things like that. We deal with a lot of dogs that are on Prozac.
Goodness me.
Diabetes.
Dogs on Prozac.
Yeah. It's very, very common for us.
Speaking of high maintenance dogs, what do you call a dog with a what do you call when you mix a dog with a Rolex?
Oh, I should know the answer to this.
You should.
And I don't.
It's pretty obvious. A watchdog.
A watchdog.
Yeah, thank you very much.
There you go.
Now I'll get my dad joke hate mail for the next week, but that's okay.
Yeah, that's okay.
Uh-oh, did I just bring up a dad joke? I think I did. Sorry, guys. I know, some of you like them, some of you don't. I love them. They make me laugh. Well, before we see if Marcus can work out the answer to that riddle, and it's not too hard, here's a word from two businesses that don't joke around when it comes to helping you grow that baby of yours into the empire it deserves to be. Support for this show comes from Net Registry, a one-stop shop for getting your online marketing sorted. Verity Ma, their Chief Marketing Officer, recently told me this story of a very happy mechanic.
So one of my favourite stories of customers that I heard was a salesperson was talking to a mechanic, and he was talking about what sort of email he would like to have and what kind of hosting, whether he wants cloud or cPanel hosting. And the mechanic just said, look, I don't care, build my website, here's my phone number, make my phone ring and send me the bill. And that was the last we heard of him. He didn't provide us content. He didn't provide us any details about his business. We had his contact details. We wrote all the content and we just got his phone ringing and sent him the bill.
Net Registry, where happy mechanics go to grow their business online. Visit netregistry.com.au or give them a buzz on 1300 638 734. And tell them Timbo sent you. The Small Business Big Marketing Show is also grateful for the support of Aussie-owned business DesignCrowd.com, the world's #1 custom design marketplace where it's beautifully simple and cheap, I love cheap, to get a design you love guaranteed. I asked founder Alec Lynch what problems Design Crowd solved for us small business owners.
Buying design has traditionally been an expensive process, a slow process, and a risky process. Design Crowd's crowdsourcing solution fixes those problems.
DesignCrowd.com, a faster, cheaper, more creative way to get a custom logo, graphic or print design for your business. For a special VIP offer that can save you up to $100 on your first design, visit DesignCrowd.com/Timbo. What I'm guessing, Marcus, and look, wonderful services, chauffeurs, water parks, air-conditioned cabins with TV, music playing, special needs.
Roast chicken dinners.
Dinner.
Peanut butter toast.
Oh, hello.
Chicken and beef flavoured ice cream.
Seriously?
Yeah.
Have you tried it?
No.
I bet it tastes like chicken. You're vegetarian, funny.
I'm vegetarian.
I am guessing you have a very intimate knowledge of your clients, not of the cats and the dogs, but of the owners. And I imagine they'd be quite an interesting lot. And I'd love to hear from you. Talk to me about your client, because I think one of the marketing lessons we can all learn here is that all of us as business owners should intimately understand our clients' needs, issues, problems they've got that we can solve, getting a really clear understanding so that you can build a business offering that, hits them directly between the eyes and they're happy to pay the kind of prices that I'm sure you're willing to charge. So paint a picture of the typical client.
So a typical client is someone who genuinely cares about their animals, who enjoys spending time with them, who love them, aren't neurotic. Did I just say?
Are or aren't?
Aren't.
Oh, they'd be completely neurotic.
No, it's an interesting thing because generally people who...
Tell me you're not getting the call going, Marcus, it's Betty here from Mosman. How's old Charles going? Has he had his roast chicken ice cream? Yeah, come on.
Yes. No. See, this is the difference, right? So people who... And we do have a few of those customers, there's no question about that.
Yeah.
But it's people who really are a lot into that wheelhouse don't actually use a kennel.
You love the phrase wheelhouse, by the way.
Yeah, because they just can't bring themselves to be separated from their animals.
I'm guessing they are, they'd be fairly wealthy. Or are you seeing people who maybe don't have, maybe they're going on the camping holiday down by the river and sending old Charlie off to the luxury Akuna pet resort?
That happens a lot. We often have someone say to us that their dog's holiday is costing more than their holiday did. So,
tongue in cheek, or do you think they're serious?
Oh, often they're true. I mean, because they go camping, they'll go camping somewhere. I mean, it's a bit tongue in cheek because at the end of the day, they've got to buy food and do all the rest of it. So realistically, but if you were just going to go hiking through one of the local mountain ranges around here, then you're really not spending a lot of money.
No, that's a nice holiday. You must have some funny clients. They reckon, the real hardcore pet owners often look like their pets.
They do.
Yeah,
they do. And certainly we do get a chunk of that. But,
can you tell us about a funny one? No names, and he or she's not listening. So go for gold.
Dear. I have to think about that. I'll think on that one and I'll come back to that one.
You need to think which one.
Yeah, well, that's right. Have to give it some context.
Oh, I love it. Hey, do you have a pet store on site? I'm interested in accessories now because, again, surely these cats and dogs are needing to accessorise, Diamante collars, and what accessories are big these days?
For us, it's usually toys.
Yep.
So it's really toys that are very specific to particular needs. So getting tough toys and things like that are suitable to staffies or to Labradors who like to rip things apart as well. Getting might be squeakies or getting particular frisbees or sort of things like that. A lot of it's wheelhouse based along those lines.
What's this wheelhouse thing you keep saying?
I use wheelhouse,
No, we're going to find a new word for that.
I know. It's horrible, isn't it? Can't help myself,
Well, there is that game, I think it's called Bullshit Bingo, and, when you use all those wheelhouse is a bit of a corporate term, We'll take that off.
Corporate term.
Yeah, we'll take that offline and, throw it around.
That's it. I don't know where it came from. I obviously picked it up somewhere and decided I wanted to use it. But
Tell me, let's talk pricing, because you touched on it earlier. Pricing troubles many a business owner.
It's hard.
Hard. It is hard. How have you gone about it?
We've done it based on basically a lot of it's been based on our costs. So I run really detailed figures on the business and the overall running of costs and things like that. And then we've set pricing on a margin initially.
Yeah, right.
Did that for many years. And then over the last year and a half, we've started to push more into offering more services that I could put more of a premium on the pricing with them.
Mm-hmm. Like?
And the special needs certainly have gone into those categories. So if someone contacts us and they have a fear of aggressive dog, I can pretty much charge whatever I want to charge to actually board that dog because no other kennel's going to take it.
Mm-hmm. Okay. So it's cost plus margin. Then you've got some services.
It's cost plus margin.
Yeah.
And then adding the higher end things that allows to create something different. Yeah.
You got a webcam on site where owners can check in?
We don't. What we've chosen to do is we do a daily Instagram. So
for each pet?
We shoot for every pet daily. So you can be on your health retreat, scanning your mobile phone when you're not meant to be, and you can get a daily video of your dog running around either our play yard or our swim yard, having lots of fun.
A daily video that you upload to Instagram?
Yep, that we upload Instagram. So our Instagram page has at the moment, it's got about 35,000 videos on it.
At any one time, how many dogs would you have in the resort?
When we're full, close to 100.
That's a lot of video. That's 100 videos a day.
Yep.
Tell me about the process behind that. I mean, most small businesses find it hard doing one video. How do you do 100 and upload it?
It took us a while to work it out because it's something we wanted to do for a long time. And what we came up with was the ability to shoot the video on Instagram. So we use Instagram as the tool.
Yep.
So it's a 15-second video. Instagram has itself controlling in that way. You just simply go to shoot video, hold the button down, away you go. Everyone will know what Instagram is in that way. And then what we do, so that's done in their playtime. So every pet gets played every day. So when they come out into the yard, the staff member we've got in their work schedule, they know that they have to shoot a video. They shoot the video on Instagram. We then have a QR code of their email address, the client's email address. They scan the QR code, which opens email. They copy the link from the Instagram post it into the email and email it to the customer.
So a big learning here for everyone is, well, that on the outside just looks like a massive job. It's clearly not. Instagram do a lot of the heavy lifting for you, but you've got some process and structure around that for your staff. So it's templated and love it. Love it.
Yep. So it certainly took us a long time to work out how best to do it. So,
yeah, gotcha.
And we had to invest in a substantial Wi-Fi system.
Yeah, right, okay. Hey, I've decided you're a dog guy because you haven't mentioned cats a lot, right?
Oh,
no.
No.
No. Tell it to the hand because the face ain't listening. You are a dog guy, yes or no?
90% of our business is dogs. And that's the thing. So we have 80 kennels for the dogs and we have 20 for the cats, but the business on a whole is generated around the dogs.
Why?
The cats, mainly because...
Cats are up themselves. Let's just say it. It's out there now. Cats are up themselves.
Right. A lot of people leave their cats at home when they go away for a few days.
Yeah.
Where you can't leave a dog at home really well.
And the
for
cat
a few
loves
days.
it. The cat goes, finally.
Yeah.
I knew it was
got the
mine.
house myself.
Yeah. I love some of those. Do you remember Gary Larson from the Far Side cartoons?
Yes.
Didn't he do some funny cartoons about animals and cows and cats and dogs? I remember there was that one, and it's cow related, so it's completely irrelevant to this discussion, but it did just come to mind where the two cows are standing in the paddock having a chat and one yells out car, and then the next thing you see they're both standing down eating grass again.
Yes, I do remember seeing that one. That's great.
I love it. Animals lend such humour to life, don't they?
They do, absolutely.
Let's talk about marketing, Marcus, because it is called the Small Business Big Marketing Show, and you're a good marketer.
So we better get to that. Yep.
Yeah, I'm guessing word of snout probably works pretty well for you.
Word of mouth is
no,
I
said snout. There was a dad joke.
Snout.
It went straight through to the keeper.
Pick up on it. Slap me about. Away we go.
Yeah. What's the best marketing that you do?
So this is an area that I fail at this point of time.
I've got a good podcast
at.
you could listen to.
I know, it's good, isn't it? I do listen to it.
Thank you.
Picking up lots of tips along the way.
You're the one.
We did the classic. For years, we grew very, very successfully off word of mouth and didn't do anything else because we didn't need to. And when we built the new complex 8 years ago, we did the classic build it and they'll come and stuck our head in the sand.
Yeah.
And what happened was we opened our doors the day Lehman's fell over. So
that would be the start of the GFC?
Never a good time to open your doors and put your pricing up by 30% at the same time. And that hurt. And it hurt. And
how much? What do you mean it hurt? What happened? Did you literally?
We lost about 25% of our business overnight.
So you have got a high net worth clientele.
Mid to high, predominantly. Mid to high, predominantly. Not all, but mid to high, predominantly.
Okay.
Yeah.
So you open your doors, and all of a sudden, hang on, maybe we should have not only invested in all the new real estate and things that we've added, but maybe we should have put a bit of dough into marketing.
We should have. And we made that mistake, and we were very slow learning. So it took us a while to pull our head out of where we were. We went through that phase that I think a lot of small businesses do, particularly where you run something for a long time. Like at that stage, we'd run this business for 8 years, and we just assumed that it would continue on the way it was. And
why do business owners do this, Marcus? You've done it. I mean, I see it all the time. I mean, I can tell you, well, because they're scared of marketing, they've been bitten before, they think it's expensive, they think it's going to take a lot of time. I've heard it all.
Yeah,
But in my experience, speaking to the successful ones, marketing is pretty much the lifeblood of a business. So
absolutely.
What did you miss? Did you just kind of got so involved in the creation of the product?
Yes, and got burnt out by the whole building process and everything else. That we just assumed that we didn't need to do any other marketing because word of mouth had worked so well for us up to this day.
Yeah, wow.
And we just stayed in that space because we offered a really good service, and we assumed by offering a really good service and staying in that space and doing that the rest would look after itself.
And there is something to be said about, the best marketing is a great product or a great service. Like, I get that, but how do people find out about your great product? Well,
yes.
you go word of mouth, but in order for word of mouth to happen, you've got to have business. You've got to have people coming through who can then go, woof, woof, woof. Oh, that's the dog talking, but, you're not going to believe the time my dog had at this kennel. It was unreal. But so what did you do to pull your head out of the marketing sand?
I'm still there. I'm almost not there now anymore. Well,
no, you're not there, mate. I want to talk about your website.
Coming a long way.
Okay.
We went through a whole process. I actually joined KPI because I'd reached a point of I went in search of something that was going to help, something that was just going to pull me out of my rut because I had got into a rut and had struggled for a few years, and I just needed something to change, just to change me, to get my head thinking again, opposed to staying in the space it was. And it's pretty sad to say that you need to have something sometimes, but that's where I got to. I needed a bullet up the bum that gave me somewhere to go with it. And
I think we all do. I think because otherwise, I call them circuit breakers. Because if you keep doing what you've always done, you'll get what you've always got. I mean, that just makes sense. That's how life works, isn't it? So until you go and move out of your comfort zone. And so many people are stuck in this comfort zone of marketing, for example, where they either kind of don't do anything because that's comfortable and it's cheap, or they do stuff that they see others do and don't get the result they're looking for, or some step out. And that's like you. Like you're coming on this tour to the Philippines. Like, mate, that's going to, whether that works for you or not, your mind's going to be expanded.
Oh, absolutely. And I know it will work for us. There's no question about that. We're already in the wheelhouse of going, okay, we can do this, this and this. Oh, no, I use that word again.
$50 donation to the RSPCA going forward.
Okay.
All right?
Done.
So, okay, so you reckon you're still pulling your head out of the marketing...
My checkbook. It's going to be a big one.
Correct. So you're still pulling... We've got a little bit of a delay, listeners, by the way. If you find me, I'm talking over Marcus. I'm pretty good at talking over people, but we do have a delay on the line. Marcus, you are still getting your marketing in order. I would argue that your website is excellent. It is helpful. I think it could do with a knowledge centre, which I talk about in my book, which is basically a place where you answer all your clients' questions. But, it's got video, it's got great pictures, it's cleanly designed, easy to navigate, lots of subheads, copy's well laid out. So tick in that marketing box.
Thank you.
What else are you doing? You're investing SEO or video or what?
Yep, we're just about to do an SEO program, and a lot was done in the design process, but now we're going to do a much more precise SEO, and that will have a bit of Google AdWords and Facebook advertising as well. And we're about to start a email marketing newsletter.
Nice.
I'm sad to say it. I haven't had one up to this stage. 16 years in, and we still don't do email marketing. Very sad.
Not sad. Let's see how it works. I mean, not everyone has to have an email marketing newsletter. In fact, I go a bit cross-eyed when I hear the word email marketing newsletter. I would suggest that if you've got something of interest to send your customer base, your database, then send it to them. But the idea of a newsletter, I don't know. I mean, I get newsletters. Even if I get a newsletter from Apple, I might not be my favourite brand. I'm inclined not to open it because I get my information elsewhere. So never apologise for your marketing or what you haven't done. But
no, but it's certainly something it's an area we've got to play with. And then from there, the other two big ones is really to push the water fun park. And also to push the Instagram videos as well.
Do you ever have open days?
We tried them many years ago, but haven't had one for a number of years. And it's probably something we probably should give another whirl again coming up soon.
I would have thought so. Put that in your wheelhouse and smoke it, I say. I would have thought an open day.
$50 from you.
What's that? $50 to me, yeah. I would have thought an open day. I don't know how you do it where you've kind of got current, guests staying. But, gosh, inviting Sydney up to bring their pets up for a day out to hang out in the water park and whatever else you do, that would appeal. That would appeal to me as a dog owner.
Yeah.
There you go.
Yeah, well, it's on it's in amongst the whole array of things that we're throwing around at the moment. So,
well, hopefully as you start to outsource, that'll free up your time and money to invest back into doing things like that and employ more people, which is a very Australian thing to do. Now, when can I book in? Would be really the last question I have for you, Marcus. I just want a double room.
Not during the school holidays.
Well, I don't mind, mate. I just want a week away by myself.
You want a week away? Okay. Yep, we've got space at the moment. So do you want the single bed and TV?
I don't care. I've just come back.
I can give you internet access as well.
No, I don't want that. I've just come back from a health retreat up on the Gold Coast, and I had no internet access, nothing.
So you just want to lay in the pool then?
I even left my dog. Correct. I even left my dog and bone at home because I couldn't get a line out. Boom, boom. Hey, mate, love your work. Look forward to seeing you in the Philippines. Listeners, you can find Marcus at AkunaPetResorts.com.au. That's AKUNA. And Marcus, are you on Twitter?
I'm not on Twitter.
Oh, old school.
I know. I am old school.
That's all right.
I haven't worked out enough that I can tweet about. I'm a bit boring that way.
Love it.
I feel that I would be complex. I feel I'd be one of those people that would do one tweet a week.
Right.
Which would be hardly worth anyone wanting to understand or know or listen to.
Which I find extraordinary because you have a business and a product offering that is just plain interesting. If you're an accountant, you may argue that you got to work harder. Hello to all you accountants out there. But, I would again challenge you to say, geez, mate, you could tweet every hour. You got so much to say. Because if you were to go out your office door now and look around, you take everything for granted, right?
Yes.
Whereas people on the other end of your tweets or your Instagrams or your Facebook updates, it's a little break for them, I would argue, to see pets playing or to see a funny thing, whatever it is, So there you go. That's my 2 bobs worth. But what would I know? Hey, mate, love your work. See you in the Philippines.
Thanks, Tim.
Well, there you go, team. Marcus Nichols, Akuna Pet Resort. That's a good story, isn't it? Who would want to stay there? I'll be there every day of the week. Now, I've got some learnings from that. My top 3 attention grabbers, thanks to Net Registry and the good guys over at Design Crowd. Number 1, Chatting with Marcus got me thinking about this concept that I talk about every now and then called killer questions. Questions that force you to look at a problem that you have in your business from an unusual angle. So what would your over-the-top solution be for your prospects that your business can solve? Or another way of looking at it, what would your product or service offering look like if money were no object? Now, Marcus had budget, don't get me wrong, but he's got an over-the-top solution to people who simply want to have their pets cared for while they're away. So what would your over-the-top solution be for your clients? Attention grabber number 2, thanks to Net Registry and Design Crowd, Instagram videos per day per guest. Isn't that amazing? 1 video per day per guest. This is a marketing idea that looks really difficult on the surface, but it isn't as hard as it seems. You know, Instagram, for example, make uploading video dead easy. And I think often with our marketing, we think it's just damn hard work. Whereas once we've done it once or twice, we look back and go, what was I worried about? That was actually amazingly simple. I would argue podcasting's like that, yeah? I reckon many of you are looking at podcasting or video marketing, self-publishing a book, maybe even writing a blog post. You're thinking, oh, geez, that just seems like hard work. I can promise you it's not. You're a motivated business owner. You listen to this show, I encourage you to do it. Attention grabber number 3, stop underestimating the power of marketing right now. Hey, can we make a pact? Marcus did when he built his water fun park and nearly went bust. The saying, build it and they will come, I reckon should actually be build it, market it, and they will come. So if you're lacking sales or maybe inquiry or maybe you have plenty of clients but just not enough of the right ones that you really want to work with, then lean on the wonderful world of marketing to help you solve that problem. You want to know where to start? Go and buy my book, The Boomerang Effect, smallbusinessbigmarketing.com. Thank you very much. Hey, what was your biggest takeaway? What was your attention grabber? I'd love to know. Leave a comment in the show notes, or you could tweet me at Timbo Reid. But the show notes are over at smallbusinessbigmarketing.com/311. Steve Martin once said, be so good that they simply cannot ignore you. Okay, team, we are nearing the end, but we're not quite there. There's a little bit more GOLD dripping from the ceiling over here at Small Business Big Marketing's HQ. Listener Dennis Trumpy of Armadillo Walkway Repairs. How's that for a business name? I'm guessing he wanted to be at the top of the yellow pages, but that would be a bit old school, I'm guessing. But anyway, he's from Saskatoon in Canada. Here's what he had to say.
Hey, Timbo. I just gave Small Business Big Marketing a well-deserved 5-star rating on iTunes. I listen to many excellent podcasts, but yours tops the charts. SBPM is informative, entertaining, uplifting, and practical. Many thanks for your gift to the marketing world. So here is my burning question. I left my job and started a new tradie business repairing sidewalks called Armadillo Walkway Repairs at armadillowalk.com. Armadillo enjoys top Google rankings, top page 1 and featured, but later found that nobody was Googling sidewalk repairs in my area. I guess one should check out your keyword popularity on Google Analytics before spending too much time on SEO. The website still makes it for a good electronic brochure and a credibility booster. But the business now targets a few large clients rather than the masses to get the most profit for least effort. This means focusing on just 30 local municipalities. Search engine optimization seems like the wrong approach to me. Instead, Armadillo is approaching decision makers with direct marketing using clever captions inside greeting cards, sometimes with little gifts that fit in the envelope. We plan personal calls and visits as the snow clears and work can begin. My question is this a fitting marketing approach for a business of this type, or do you have other suggestions? Au revoir. Need to get back out and chase off the moose so I can shovel the snow to harvest some maple syrup to have with my poutine and beaver tails. Eh?
I had to look up what poutine was, and Wikipedia tells me it's French fries and cheese curds topped with a light brown gravy. And then he's got beaver tails. What's that about? I didn't even get to the question. I had to Google to see whether they really do eat beaver tails. And I found an article where this bloke saying, you eat it just like bone marrow, he explained to me as we stood near the fire watching the tail sizzle. Slice it open, then dip the bread in the goo. Sounds disgusting. Beaver tails. Poutine. What's that about? Hey, thanks, Dennis, for your 5-star rating on iTunes. Really appreciate that, mate. And great learning about checking your keyword popularity first before spending time on your search engine optimization. Pity you had to learn it after you'd done all that work, but it's a great learning for the rest of us. So you're kind of paying it forward if you like. What I would suggest to all listeners who want to get their head around that kind of geeky part of online marketing is revisit episode 262 with Moz's Rand Fishkin. He is like the godfather of search engine optimization in the world, and it's a cracker of an interview. And you listen to that and the job is done. Now, Dennis from Saskatoon, I think your strategy of targeting 30 large municipalities is solid, like really solid. So keep sending the cards and paying the visits. But here's what I'd also do if you want to build armadillo walkway repairs. Simply make 3 calls a day. Hey? Reach out to a prospect or someone who might know someone who might know someone and get on the blower. You got a great voice for it, Dennis. I can certainly say that. The other thing I'd do is I'd instigate a referral marketing strategy, and there is no better one than the one Steve Sims shared on episode 236. Elegantly simple. It involves cards and magazines and texters and your own handwriting. And I loved it, and I'll put a link to that in the show notes for this episode, which is 311. Another thing I'd do, Dennis, I would hold information sessions, either live or via webinar. When you're all snowed in, you can't do live stuff, so do it via webinar. But a lot of these people at the municipalities, they're not going to know a lot about sidewalk repairs. They might know a lot about sideway repairs, but you're the guy who's going to educate them so they can make the most informed decision. I would actively identify sidewalks, Dennis, that need repairing, take a video of them and send it to the person at the municipality. Still can't get it right. It doesn't matter. You know what I mean? And encourage them. So, hey, listen, I just walked past this broken sidewalk. I can repair it. Here's the video. Give us a call. That's simple to do. Do it on your iPhone. And here's a wacky one, Dennis. Non-permanent sidewalk stencil ads out the front of these people's offices. Okay? Just be careful that it's not considered graffiti in your area. It may be, but this is when you get a stencil and a high-pressure water torch and you pretty much wash away the dirt on the sidewalk and it leaves an ad. Kind of like that. It works exactly for you, for what you do. But and that's what I do, Dennis. I still do some search engine optimization. In particular, get the metadata. I'm going to geek alert here. Woo! Get the metadata sorted on every page of your website. Now, your page titles on your website, Dennis, below average, I've got to say, just between you and me. In fact, I'll go as far as saying they're useless. I know. I'm normally encouraging. But for example, on your services page, you currently say Armadillo Services. No one's looking for Armadillo Services. What it should say is Sidewalk Repairs and Maintenance Saskatoon, because then Google know what that page is all about, and it makes it much easier for Google to index it, all right? So just keep working on the SEO, but I think what you're doing is really solid, Dennis. I love your work. Hey, listeners, thank you for everyone who's left a review on iTunes. I love reading them. I go in and check every day, get a little bit sad when there's not one there. And leave a listener question, leave a marketing question and your website in the review on iTunes, and I'll answer it, hey? There's just no risk. It's all upside. Alrighty, that I think brings us pretty close to the end of episode 311 of the Small Business Big Marketing Show, but plenty of marketing gold coming your way. Next week, we're joined by Dan Tarasenko. He's got a business called Crowd Carnivore, and it is smashing it. He is just all of a sudden got an amazing amount of press coverage throughout Australia. It's the crowdsourcing of meat, of sheep and cows and beef. Hey, big hugs to both Net Registry and Design Crowd for making this show possible. Love you guys. Be sure to use Design Crowd to get pretty much anything designed. A typical project receives 60 to 100 plus designs from designers around the world. Grab a VIP listener discount over at designcrowd.com/Timbo. And Net Registry. If you need a website, maybe you need to get yours found. Whatever your online marketing conundrum is, head over to netregistry.com.au/Timbo and they will sort you out. Hey, if you know someone who needs a speaker for an upcoming event, timreed.com.au and I'm all yours. Big thanks to Daryl Misson for making my voice sound choice, and to Lockie Doley for always being on song or in the pocket, whatever those musos say. You can check him out, lockiedoley.com. He does all the music bed for this show. If you want to surround yourself with other motivated business owners, then join the Small Business Big Marketing Club over at crankmymarketing.com. You get forum access. We do pretty useful training webinars every now and then, and there's a bunch of other motivated business owners in there helping us all to do better marketing and build a better business. And it's got a 30-day no questions asked money back guarantee. Got to love that. Until next week, I am Timbo Reid, always have been, always will be. Thanks for listening to the Small Business Big Marketing Show. May your marketing be the best marketing. Bye for now.